Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know, my name is Kristen, and you've reached my little corner of the world that is meant to feel like a nice warm blanket around you, full of motivation, confidence building tips, a little sprinkle of the spiritual word, and let's not forget, okay, that career glow up too. So for those that are brand new, how my channel typically operates, I have several series if you guys haven't figured that out already. The first one is my Rise and Glow series. It's a series that I do where I give you guys a power journal prompt, I give you a gratitude prompt, I give you an affirmation that you can take with you for the day, for the week, whenever you need it. And then we follow it up with a Bible verse that's relevant and a Bible study question. So like I said, I'm a Christian girly. I believe in God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the whole 9 yards, and I'm here to spread the word. And then for those that are brand new to this particular series, this is The Beauty Becomes Her, where we work on the confidence and the glow within ourselves before we grab those makeup brushes, okay? And then last but not least, we have a couple other ones. I do have my marketing and business series where I share with you guys some of the career tips that I've learned along the way in the career field that I am in. And then you can kind of take some of the nuggets if you guys are in a different one to help you elevate the career that you want to get into, and maybe even help you get a little bit organized if you need help with that throughout the day. And then we also do a book of the month and nighttime ritual ones too. So I have a lot going on this channel, but I try to keep it pretty consistent so you guys can kind of keep up and know exactly where we're going on this journey, okay? So today's video, we're getting back into The Beauty Becomes Her. I told you guys, I work from the inside out. So what that means is before you touch a makeup brush, before you do your hair, put your clothes on, you have to work on the glow that's within yourself and work on building the confidence here first before any of that stuff looks great on the outside. Because here's the thing, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, some of our most beloved entertainers, people that have made us laugh and cry throughout the ages, whether it's on television or in movies, sometimes, while the cameras are rolling, they look happy. They look, like they are the most pleasant people to be around, which they probably are. But when the cameras stop rolling and they go home every night, sometimes they aren't entirely happy with what's going on in here and in here. And, it's most morbid cases, and I hate to say it, but I'm gonna be that honest person. Sometimes, they let the world get the best of them. And it's hard for them to recover from that. And sometimes we do wind up losing those people to, obvious reasons. But yeah, with that, I am just here to provide nuggets of wisdom, something that can help reassure you that you are loved and show you how to give the love that you need back to yourself and be that love as well. So without further ado, we're going to get into today's topic because this is one that I'm extremely passionate about. I've been working very, very hard to continue to manifest this in my life over the last 2 years. I will say I've gotten a lot better this year. 2025 has been that go year when it comes to this. And I'm hoping that with the message that I share, that you guys, share it with someone that could use it, or even just take a small nugget for yourself, regardless. But before I move a step further, please like, comment, subscribe. That helps me keep this page running. And it also lets me know that my message is reaching at least one person. And by the way, now that we have TikTok back in the App Store, you can find some of my shorts there as well. I'll try to put more on that platform along with Instagram. You can find both of my tags in the description as well. And well, without further ado, let's get into it. So today's topic is all about building the inner glow up within here and becoming the woman or man, the person essentially that you admire. All right. So before I dive, let me tell you two people that I deeply admire as women. And one of them is personal to me. The other is someone that I watch their story, more or less. I admire their style. I admire their poise. I admire how they carry themselves. And to be honest with you, when I think about the glow up that I desire personally in myself, I do see traits that I'd like to learn how to cultivate. I'm not saying copy, I'm just saying traits that I think would work best in my life to help me reach the next level of where it is that I want to go. So for starters, the first person that comes to mind when I think of someone that I deeply admire is my mother, okay? As a young girl, especially if you have a strong relationship with your mom or grandmother or motherly figure in your life, this may sound relatable to you. My mom, she is definitely a very strong woman. She was independent from the very beginning. You know, she raised my sisters prior to meeting my dad and having myself and my brother. But she is resilient. Okay. She's glowing at her job. She works in an environment that can be predominantly for men sometimes, but she stands up for herself. She's not afraid to speak her mind. She's very organized. My mom is she's very stylish. And we, you know, and the family, we kind of tease her because at our old house, she used to have endless mountains of purses and shoes. And at one point they're just under the bed and in the closet. And it got to the point where my dad didn't have any space in the closet for his clothes. So he had to pick up a different closet throughout the house. But nonetheless, everywhere my mom goes, people think that she's a lot younger than what she is, and she always has that flair around her. You know, she gets the nickname amongst my friends, and I'm sure my brother's friends and family, as Mama Jones, because they know when she's coming. But they do also know that, you know, at home she keeps her home welcoming. She makes everyone feel, you know, like they belong there. And sometimes, like, even though I have my own house, sometimes I found myself going to sleep over there. My son adores his grandmother, and even the man of my life, he loves, you know, being able to talk to her and spend, you know, being around her as well, because it reminds him of his mom in different ways. But that's just the type of person that she is, and she's a God-fearing woman too. So through her, I really learned, you know, the power of the things that Christ can do in your life. I've learned and watched her I guess you can say, become resilient, achieve the goals that she wanted. She got the big house that she wanted. She has an amazing husband, my dad. She has kids that are successful in their own right and are glowing in their own right. You know, she's raised us to be very strong individuals in a society that is not always kind to people of color, if I had to be honest with you, or in women too. It's not always kind, but she's raised us in a way to be humble, and then also to be strong and not let the world, you know, take over what we think about ourselves. So because of that, I deeply admire her, and my grandmother's no different. You may hear me talk about my grandmother in other videos, but those two women honestly are the admiration and where I'm inspired to talk about this glow up. Now on the flip side, you know, when a person that I admire in, I guess you can say, society, we'll say it that way. It was a little hard to kind of choose, but this is my opinion, not no one else's. I deeply, it's a combination of both. I deeply admire Miss Michelle Obama. I love the way that she carries herself, very poised. I love anytime I look back at any of her pictures back during President Obama's term, I just look at like how she styled herself, how she carried herself, raised her daughters, how she, you know, definitely supported her husband, how she was able to, you know, hold her own as well and have different programs and organizations to help youth. And just looking, I have her book Becoming on my bookshelf, but reading that story, listening to the perseverance and how she, you know, has done things in her career that are just as good as her husband. Of course, she wasn't president or anything, but she was able to have her own glow as well. So those two women, honestly, three, including my grandmother, are people that I look at when it comes to becoming the woman that I admire and the person that I desire to be. So let's kind of go a little bit further than that. So the difference between, you know, surface level glow up and the inner glow up that we've been talking about lately, they're two different concepts. So for surface level, that's things like, you know, your hair, your makeup, your appearance, the way you dress, all of those things. But what really matters is in terms of elevating your confidence and getting to the place that you want to be, that would include like your mindset, your habits, and your personal growth. Okay. From there, once you find a rhythm, once you've built, I guess you can say, routines in your life that help you improve those particular areas, you're going to start to notice small changes within yourself. So for example, one of the things that I am very passionate about, I think I've already mentioned already, is building strong morning habits, building strong even evening habits. So for me, I journal a lot. I read my Bible. I have my morning coffee. I don't know if you guys can see it. I take the time to get myself dressed so I feel good, and then I'm able to give the best of myself to my son and to my job and to the people that love me. I make sure that the things that I'm taking in daily are very positive. So when I'm waking up, I listen to empowering songs, maybe even a podcast. At work, I listen to things that are relevant to my my career, so I can get nuggets and ideas of how to improve and really I guess you can say expand on my creativity. And then when it comes to personal growth, I remember that being stagnant or being content and comfortable sometimes can be dangerous. So I'm always looking for ways that I can even just get 1% better than what I was yesterday. Now, going back to the 2 women, or 3, including my grandmother, that I mentioned, one of the things that I'm learning is that I truly want to pick up on certain traits that each of them have. And I look at the reason why that I admire them. And as you go through, I guess you can say, the people that you interact with throughout your day, you should probably ask yourself that question too. And what is it about them that makes you, not saying admire them, but want that type of glow that they're bringing out? So for my mother, it's definitely her fierceness, her independence for me. And it's also her ability to, I guess you can say, not be afraid to stand up for herself and speak her mind. And at work, that's helped me, especially in corporate America. And then even amongst my friends, sometimes when I felt, a little bit shy to say what really was on my mind, when I finally said it, although I'm working on saying things a little nicer. It felt like a weight lifted off of my shoulder because I'm able to speak my truth and I'm not holding anything back, So with that, I want you to consider the traits that you are looking at when it comes to people that you admire and figure out how you can apply those things to become your best and highest self. All right, so let's go into, I want to share 5 steps, and this is part of this video, of how to really become the woman that you admire and really identify, I guess you can say, bring forth those qualities. The first thing that I would recommend is completely rewriting your self-image. What that means is you may have to, I'm just going to take a notebook. This isn't really my journal, but I would recommend, and on this channel, you hear me talk about it a lot. You hear me preach about it. I would truly write it out. You can use your laptop, you can use a Google Doc, Microsoft Word doc, whatever the case may be, but get a clear picture of who it is that you desire to be. What exactly does that person do? How do they wake up? How do they, go about their day? How are they dressed? What do they smell like? What are their hobbies? What are their passions? What are things that they value? And when you do that, you'll be able to take a look at yourself as you stand right now and figure out, okay, what are the things that I should be doing to help elevate me to that position that I desire to be, and to be that woman that I desire to be, based on the qualities and the traits that I've noticed from women or people in general that I admire. Number 2, the second thing that I would recommend is cultivating emotional resilience. Okay. This is something that, over the last 3 years or so, I've really become, I guess you can say, a strong advocate for, and just be mindful, this is not a sponsored video by any means, but I highly recommend, as women, if this video is directed to them, to you guys, is to really focus on your emotional strength, emotional health. Focus on, I guess you can say, choosing a response over reaction, because I know sometimes it feels like our voices get quieted down and no one's really open to listening to what we have to say. And sometimes when the time comes for us to actually open up, it feels like we're screaming at the person or screaming at the concept, when in reality, you get rewarded more in a way, or you'll be received better if you approach situations as a response instead of reacting. So in a way, it's kind of proactive versus reactive. And that's something that I'm deeply working on. And this could be in relation to 3 different scenarios, one of which could be a setback. So let's say there was something that you truly, truly wanted to do, but you didn't get a chance to do, or something got in the way and it put you behind on what it is that you wanted to accomplish. So essentially you're reacting to the fact that, oh, like for example, you were supposed to pay your car note and you're about a week late, but it isn't 30 days late, but then it set you back to other bills that needed to get paid the following month because you're kind of behind, just as an example. Don't beat yourself up over it. Just set up the arrangement with your car note people and make the payment when you're able to. That's another thing. Don't, I guess you can say, be your worst critic either, because that goes into concept 2 when it comes to cultivating emotional resilience. You want to be the biggest cheerleader for yourself, not the biggest put down person or the biggest person that is, I guess you can say, bringing negative energy to the aura that you're trying to grow and expand upon in a positive way. And then the third concept with this is building emotional resilience when it comes to rejection. And this can be related to a relationship side of things, but also career, professional, and even personal. So if you feel rejected, let's say, you wanted to apply for a higher position in your job and you got passed up by for the next person, don't think of that as a way of saying that you are awful at what it is that you do. Sometimes that's God's way of saying, hey, I have something better for you, because if you get this position, you may not like it, or you may feel the same way that you are feeling. So always think 10 steps ahead when it comes to things like that. The third way that you can continue to become that woman that you admire is to develop that high value habits. So I've already mentioned having a morning and nighttime routine that's going to work for you. So if you haven't decided what that's going to be, or you need some ideas with that, why don't you watch some of my previous Rise and Glow series, and you can hear, more or less what my routine is when it comes to like the journal prompts and things, and maybe get inspired from that. But have a routine that works for you to where you wake up and you feel amazing every single day. The second concept with this one is always strive to learn more. You should never stop learning. You should never stop or feel like you've learned everything there is to learn, because let's face it, you haven't. I guarantee you, if you go on any sites like the Masterclass, if you try Udemy, if you try there's another one, Skillshare, YouTube, there's always ways to learn things. I personally am going back to school because I want to expand on my career. You don't have to invest thousands of dollars like that, but find ways to learn something new. Invest in your wellness and health. I can't express that enough. Drink your water, go to bed, get yourself some rest. Make sure you're moving your body to some capacity, walking, going to the gym, picking up physical activities that's going to get your body and your mind moving. And last but not least, make sure you're nourishing yourself. Don't continue to feed yourself junk and food that's going to, I guess you can say, provide a negative impact on your internal organs, because if you're not feeling good on the inside, meaning like your health and your bodily functions, how do you expect your mind to pick up on the things that you desire in the highest version of yourself? And I also would recommend finding a hobby. So my hobby is, it's writing. That's just what I do. But I also love to read. I love books now. I feel like I love that more than watching my TV sometimes, because I'm able to get into the characters that are in the book. I'm able to take myself on a journey. I'm even putting together a book club for myself, my best friend, and some of her friends, where we can, bring our love of reading full circle and share it, with others. So I would recommend finding something that you love and developing, I guess you can say, a routine around that, so you can make it a part of your life instead of making it feel like it's a chore. The fourth thing that I would recommend if you're on this journey of becoming the woman that you admire is elevating your presence. And this means before you get dressed. So before you put your clothes on, before you do your hair, before you do your makeup, I would recommend working on your posture. Sit up straight, stand up tall, stop slouching, stop walking around like you don't want the world to see you, because guess what? God sees you and he wants you to stand up because he made you perfect, okay? He made all of his creations perfect, and you have to believe that in your mind. The next thing, always maintain eye contact when you're talking to someone. It's not only is it kind of weird, but it also dims your confidence level if you're kind of like this when answering questions, or looking away, or hiding your face, or doing something silly like that. When you're having a conversation with someone, look at them in the eyes, because that is, in a sense, is a compliment to them that you appreciate their presence and that you are actually commanding the conversation. Although you're probably just listening to them, but it lets them know that you really care about what it is they're getting ready to say, and you want to be involved in the conversation more. I would also recommend learning to speak up. I mentioned that this is a trait that my mother instilled upon me. Never be afraid to speak up in any given situation, whether it's with your spouse, at work, in a meeting. Speak up, let your voice be heard, because the more that you're able to project yourself and speak your mind, you clear up space up there. You're able to let the world know that you have thoughts too, and that your feelings and ideas are valid and that they matter. And last but not least, I have the sticky note on my mirror to my right. It's over here. Be the love that you need in this space. So when it comes to elevating your presence, be the love that you seek in others. So if you're a person and you're single and you're out here looking for a spouse or a person to, build a relationship with, maybe start to build a relationship with yourself first internally before you start to seek those things in others. And my fifth and final tip for becoming the woman that you admire and bringing that inner glow to yourself, you gotta let go of what no longer serves you. I can't express that enough. Remove the distractions, remove the negativity. Yes, that means internal, not just from other people. I would also remove the self-doubt, okay? My motto for this year, you guys can take it, use it, however you want to say it, is no distractions, no excuses, no bad vibes, okay? That means removing toxic relationships. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be mean people. Maybe completely refreshing your space to where you feel good. Removing elements that brought nothing but pain and misery. Remove elements that remind you of a person that you used to be. So it goes into the next portion, the old version of you. Remove those elements and remove bad habits that are holding you back, and replace them with the good habits that we already mentioned in step 3, the high value ones. Remove the scrolling until midnight on your phone. Remove watching and taking in music and entertainment that is, I guess you can say, lowering your self-esteem, that is making you think lower about yourself. Replace that with uplifting content, whether it's, not saying you have to listen to, Christian music, a Christian playlist, although I have my own, or I would recommend reading the word. I can't express that enough. Like I said on this channel, I'm a Christian girly, okay? So any problems or any questions that I have about my life, I know I can find it in the Bible because God wrote it, and I know that what he wrote is true. So with that, find something that's going to help you bring better habits to your life, improve the mindset about yourself, and help you look at the world from a different lens. And with that, I know this, like I said, this is a topic I'm passionate about. I feel like I may expand on some of these topics in the future. But for the most part, if you guys really enjoyed this talk, please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, and as always, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And I really want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Who is a person that you admire? And write in the comments why you admire them. And, I want to start this conversation. I'd like to hear, what you guys are looking at when it comes to people in your life and what you need to do to get to that next level of where it is that you desire to go. So with that, as always, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you guys on my next video.